Yes, I'm sad that this isn't a Monday when I'm doing the Gilded Age episode review on this channel. It's really upsetting. 8 episodes are never enough for a show like this. We need 30 a year, that's for sure. But thankfully, season 4 is already confirmed and hopefully production will start soon. Meanwhile, I would like to talk about some crazy theories and predictions we have for the Gilded Age season 4, which include George becoming addicted to laudanum, potentially cheating on Bertha with Mrs. Winterton, and more. Let's go. The Lavender Marriage. I feel like this is one of the main storylines people are really excited about for season 4 because these two are such a great duo that I think all of their scenes will be full of sass and they will criticize everyone at all those parties during a marriage that will benefit them both. But there are some theories I've seen suggesting this marriage could potentially turn out to be a love marriage for both, even though that's not the impression I've gotten. People are discussing whether Oscar is bisexual, and we've never had confirmation of this. He did seem to be interested in Maud Beaton and Gladys for some time, but we don't know if he was sexually attracted to them or just interested in their fortune. To me, the way this has been teased, I don't think they'll fall in love. I feel like they both know each other's secrets. Turner had to have guessed Oscar's real intentions, right? She must have understood when they talked about separate houses and doing whatever they wanted behind the curtains. So to me, this will be fully a Lavender Marriage where the couple is not in love but respects each other and does whatever they want privately while still presenting themselves as a couple to society. One of the theories about doing whatever they want includes a relationship between Oscar and Mr. Merrick. Although there weren't really any scenes indicating this would be a thing, some fans have pointed out comments made by Merrick that suggest he might be gay. And now that John Adams is gone, people think Oscar may have an affair with him. Do you think that's possible? Let me know in the comments. Gladys and Hector will be happy. I know this is a bold title, but it's not just because of the pregnancy. I'm basing it on a comment Julian Fellows himself made after the season finale. During an interview, he talked about Gladys' story and revealed that she's based not only on Consuelo Vanderbilt, the real-life American woman who became the Duchess of Marlborough, but also on Mary Gillette, who became the Duchess of Roxburgh. Consuelo had an unhappy marriage that ended in separation and divorce years later, while Mary's marriage lasted happily until her death. Julian said Gladys and Hector's situation was inspired by both women. The way Gladys and Hector's storyline went in season 3, the fact that we saw them both warming up to each other suggests they may actually end up happy and not divorced. Larry and Marian engagement. Now, I'm sure some of you were as angry as I was that this relationship problem didn't get resolved at the end of season 3. As someone who has been watching the show since the very beginning, I've been shipping these two forever. They've teased us so much about them that I really felt it was time for them to get engaged at the end of season 3, but clearly the writers wanted the drama to continue so that the viewers could be more invested in season 4. Personally, I'm tired of the will they, won't they back and forth. If you're gonna break them up, just break them up so they can both move on and we can too. But if you're gonna make them happen, then just make them get engaged with a lavish engagement ball so we can all breathe a sigh of relief and say, okay, this is happening. To me, the end of the season felt hopeful for these two. They didn't break up or say this isn't working. They were both mature and understanding, basically saying, we can't solve this right now. Let's just enjoy the party and dance. Most theories I've seen predict a happy ending for Larry and Marian, and I hope that's what we get. George left Bertha because here's an interesting theory. You know how there's that trope where a character faces a death threat and has to leave someone to protect them? I feel like this might be what happened with George. We never actually learned who tried to kill him. We thought it was Clay, but maybe George and Larry discovered it was someone else and his life and his family's lives were still in danger. So maybe he acted like he was leaving Bertha to make it look convincing so whoever was threatening him wouldn't target his family. I know it's an annoying trope. If George had just told Bertha, hey, there's still a threat on my life and we need to act like we're separated so they don't hurt you too, she would have understood. She's a smart woman. But maybe George didn't tell her the full truth to make their separation look more real. Maybe season 4 will reveal this through a flashback. After all, most of us noticed how George seemed to do a 180. He was fine at the party, then suddenly everything changed and he left Bertha without even saying goodbye to Gladys. What do you think about this theory? Let me know in the comments. George's addiction. I noticed the focus on the laudanum bottle, the painkiller George was prescribed after his shooting. laudanum was extremely addictive, and there were many cases of laudanum addiction in the 1800s. The fact that George is now drinking it, perhaps in large amounts to hide the pain from his accident, could lead to him becoming addicted in season 4. Addiction can lead to a lot of storylines. It could bring the family closer, with Bertha trying to help George recover, or it could push them further apart if George spirals. He could even end up doing something destructive like having an affair. George cheats on Bertha. I talked about this in another video, but since Bertha's real-life inspiration is Elva Vanderbilt, we know Elva's husband William cheated on her openly and publicly. She eventually divorced him. That means there is a possibility that George could cheat on Bertha too, and that Bertha might not be able to handle it, deciding to divorce him. Now, who could George cheat with? The biggest candidate is Mrs. Winterton. I have to say, I don't want this to happen, but the fact that Turner has a history of trying to seduce George, combined with George and Bertha now living separate lives in different houses, might mean there is a real possibility of an affair. The Russell divorce. If the affair happens, I don't think Bertha would be the type of woman to simply accept it. Considering she's already done important work for the acceptance of divorced women in society, she might herself become a divorced woman. But the divorce could happen regardless of an affair, given how disappointed George was both in himself and in Bertha at the end of season 3. He admitted that letting Bertha convince him to marry Gladys off to a stranger she didn't love made him question his own motives, his character, and the character of the person he's been with all these years. So even without an affair, separation is still in the cards. But as far as we know, for a divorce to happen, the woman had to prove her husband had an affair, so they may simply live separate lives, like Mrs. Astor and her husband. Still, George and Bertha are the backbone of this show. Their partnership and dynamic have been central since season 1, episode 1. It's what drew me to the show in the first place. I honestly can't imagine the show working as well if they weren't together. For that reason, I think Julian Fellowes won't risk breaking them up permanently. I hope he brings them back together, because without them in partnership, the Gilded Age just wouldn't be the same. If you want to learn about what happened to Elva Vanderbilt and her husband William in real life, check out this video.